Hello, everyone. We're just going to wait for it to get some people to come in and that we can talk to. But this is Rowan Salisbury School CTE. This is Rowan Salisbury. We have our superintendent on. We have a student on. We have our CTE director on. It's going to be a really great webinar today. We're going to have some fun. We're going to give you some insight on some of the things that we do at Rowan Salisbury Schools. So it's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great webinar. I'm going to let a few people come in and then we're going to get started. Feel free to, once you do come in, please share it with your timeline. And then also feel free to ask any questions, make comments if you have any.
I'll tell you, I'm just very appreciative of our weather today. I'm outside and it feels wonderful. So happy and thankful for today.
Yeah. So we'll get this party started. It's our time to go. So this is Work-Based Webinar Wednesday. I am Mr. Dominique Bates. I am the Associate CTE Director of Work-Based Learning and Community Partnerships for Rowan Salisbury Schools. I have some special guests with me today, a star-studded cast. I know I'm in the presence of greatness, and you guys are going to learn so much today. You guys are going to just have a great experience with this webinar today. So without further ado, I would like for my guests to introduce yourselves.
My name is Micaiah McDaniel. I'm a senior at North Rowan High School.
Hi, good morning. I'm Lynn Moody, and I am the school superintendent for Rowan Salisbury Schools.
Good morning. I send a warm greeting to all of you. I am Holly Poore, the Director of Career and Technical Education, better known as CTE, for Rowan Salisbury Schools, and I am just so happy to be with all of you today. Before we get started with our conversation, I am so excited to have our featured special guest on our Work-Based Learning Wednesday webinar series, Dr. Lynn Moody, our Superintendent of Schools for Rowan Salisbury Schools, here with us to really talk about her professional journey. She's going to connect for us the discovery of your passions and how you can cultivate those passions to lead towards career and anything else Dr. Moody is led to share. I'm just excited to have her story and her voice in this space with us today. And Dr. Moody, we are so delighted to have you with us and glad that you are a part. Micaiah, thank you for representing our student voice. It's always great to have that student lens and that presence of our students. So as a senior of North Rowan High School, Micaiah, we are so appreciative of you being here with us in this platform. And then Mr. Bates, I can't tell you just how appreciative I am of your vision for today, your vision for our Work-Based Learning Wednesday webinars. This was your labor of love, and I just want to salute you. I try to tell you so much how appreciative I am of you and how thankful I am, and really how blessed Rowan Salisbury Schools is to have you as our Associate CTE Director of Work-Based Learning and Community Partnerships. So Dr. Moody and Micaiah and Mr. Bates, just kick your shoes off, roll your shoulders back, relax, and I look forward to the conversation on today. Thank you for having me, Mr. Bates.
Absolutely. And thank you guys for just being on here. This is an awesome experience for myself, awesome for Micaiah, and it's going to be a great webinar. So I want to start by talking with Dr. Moody, and I just want to know, what was your journey? How did you get to where you are today? Can you just give us a walkthrough and give us the scenic route of your story and your journey?
All right. Well, you know, I'm old, so it might take a long time for me to tell you about my journey, but I'll try to be a little briefer than that. I grew up in Rockingham County, And my parents were teachers, but all of my family were tobacco farmers. And in our community, most of the jobs were either on the tobacco farm or in the cigarette factory, which is really probably bizarre to many of our younger students. Micaiah probably has no idea what I'm talking about. But in a farming community, families work together. And I decided that I did not want to work in a tobacco field all my life, that was not what I wanted to do, but I didn't really have any idea what I did want to do. And as I said, my parents were teachers and they really encouraged me to go to college. And I went to college at NC State. Yes, everyone should stand up when I say that. I'm a diehard Wolfpack fan. It was a wonderful journey there. And discovered that there was this thing called, it wasn't called career and technical education at the time, it was called vocational education. And it allowed me to connect my interest in business with an interest in teaching school. So I'll do a little shout out to Micaiah and all of our other students that the job as a CTE teacher is a fabulous journey and a great one for you to pursue. It's been very rewarding for me. So I started out as a CTE teacher. I taught a number of subjects. I taught middle school and high school, and I taught career interest, and then I taught industrial cooperative training. I taught some pilot courses for special needs students in career and technical education, and I taught agriculture. So I'm a former agriculture teacher as well. And then I had an opportunity to move into an administrative role as a CTE director in Vance County, and then in Wake County as well, and in Orange County. So that was it sounds like I couldn't keep a job, but my husband actually was the one that was moving, and I had to recreate myself. And then I became an assistant superintendent in Rock Hill, South Carolina. And when the superintendent left there, I was fortunate enough to be named superintendent. So I've been a school superintendent for 15 years now.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow. What a remarkable journey.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
It's been a lot of fun. Yeah.
So when did you know you wanted to become a superintendent?
Well, I'm not sure I really did. When I was teaching school, I did love it. And I had a superintendent at the time who had been the state superintendent, Craig Phillips. He had retired, and I was working in Vance County, and at that time they fired the superintendent, and because actually it's interesting to me thinking back about that, because she was very progressive about education transformation at the time, maybe a little too progressive for the community at the time. And she was about competency-based, which is interesting now because 20 years later or 30 years later, we're all scrambling to try to figure out what competency-based education might look like. But at the time, that was just a little too progressive for them. And they asked Dr. Phillips to come in and fill in as an interim. And while he was there, I was like a career coach in the school district. And he promoted me to be the CTE director or an administrator. I didn't have my master's degree. I was working on it. I wasn't certified. I mean, it was crazy that he did that. He really took a chance on me and said, you have until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning to tell me if you're going to take this job or not. And I tried to convince him why I was not able to do the job, and he didn't really care. I did it, and that was my progression into administration. I thought my dream job would be to be the career and technical education director in Wake County Public Schools, because the person that was in that role came to my college at NC State at the time, and I thought that she was the smartest person I knew. So that was my ultimate goal. And I achieved that goal sooner than I thought I would. And while I was there, I got recruited as assistant superintendent, and then it went from there. I didn't really ever get into this work thinking I wanted to be a school superintendent. So it was through great mentors, great coaches, and people who saw something in me about my passion or my work that then helped me think about the next journey. So that's how it all started.
That's great. I think it's important that our students who are watching take note of just the many people that you had in your corner that were pushing you along the way, that were motivating you along the way and empowering you along the way, called mentors.
Yes.
And sometimes you get mentors and you don't even know that they're your mentor. They're unofficial mentors. And so, but they're very, very important in developing you into the person that you are today. And so I just want students who are listening to take note that you need a mentor. And you're going to need plenty of them. And to whenever you get those mentors, just be very grateful of who they are. Even if you didn't even realize it until a few years later, even if you don't realize it, just be grateful and tell those people thank you, because they're very important.
I would add to that is, Dominique, I agree with you. Like sometimes you don't even recognize that they're a mentor, but it's somebody who takes a special interest or sees something in you and you begin some kind of relationship where they're coaching you. For me, my best mentors were people who didn't look like me, and they weren't necessarily the same sex, same race, they were older, like all kinds of things. And at the time, I thought, well, they don't really know I'm a lot younger than that, or they don't really know my background. They're a lot smarter than me. And I mean, I had all kinds of feelings about when they were trying to coach me up, so to speak, that they might not really know that maybe I wasn't smart enough to do that, or maybe I didn't have the resources to do it. So I would say, put all that aside. When somebody reaches, I will say, down to you to pull you up to a special place, take a risk, step out in trust, and you'll be glad you did.
Great words. Dr. Moody, I am just really in awe over your experience as a superintendent for the last 15 years. That's remarkable, because I understand, or what I assume is that the amount of work and the workload that you carry, although it's and I know that you have a passion for what you do, it can oftentimes be a heavy load. And so if you would, could you speak to the responsibilities of being a superintendent and give us an idea of what it is to actually walk in that seat and sit in that seat? Just share that lens with us, please.
Sure, I would love to. And before I do that, Holly, you spoke on something that I think is important to kind of call out, is about passion. So I've said, as a school superintendent, you probably work about 80 hours a week. It is not a 40-hour-a-week job. It never has been. And you can't do it in 40 hours and do a good job of it, that I have found. Maybe other people have found a different way of doing it. So it's a true commitment. But what I realized early on in this journey was it's not work. It's not 40 hours of work for me. It's 40 hours of what I really enjoy. So when you're thinking about your future and your job, find something that doesn't feel like work. It feels like something that's compelling to you. You want to know more about it. You want to learn more about it, so that you're not working every day, that you're actually playing. So I say, Millikan has a saying that says purposeful play. Find a job that's purposeful play for you, and it will never feel like work. Exactly. Now, I go home tired, and I know I've been to work. So I'm not saying it's all joy. There are things in our job. So I'll tell you, a typical day for me, or a typical week for me as a school superintendent, is I laugh and I say, I know a lot about everything and not much about anything. Here's my point: is at the beginning of the school, often this year was different because of the pandemic, but I usually go to as many schools during the first week of school as I can to visit with with students and watch students come into school. And during that week, I'll have my name badge on and people will think I look official and they'll say, where do I park my car? And I'll say, I don't know. Well, where do we get our book? I don't know. Well, where do we get our iPad at? I don't know. Like, do you know anything? Not really. I had a student one time in the cafeteria say to me, it's a young girl, she was in about the third grade or so. She asked me what I did, and she said, "Are you Dr. Moody?" And I said, "Yes." She wanted to describe like her elbow. Something was like in her elbow not working. I said, "I'm not that kind of doctor. Like my degree is in education, like how to teach, not in medical practice." And so we went on. We just kept talking, and then one of her friends came to the table. And she introduced me to her friend, and she said, "That's Dr. Moody. She's a doctor, but not the kind that can do you any good." I just always remember that. I thought it was so cute. So my background is in trying to understand, know, learn, and administrate how to deliver great education. And many people think, well, I went to school, so I know what it takes to be a good teacher, or I know what it takes to deliver a good educational system. But as a school superintendent, not only do you need to know about what it takes to get students excited about learning and curriculum, but we are the largest employer in Rowan County. So we have the largest transportation system of any transportation system. We run the largest in our foods and nutrition department. We serve more breakfasts and lunches than all the restaurants in town do. So we have a big, big business. Our personnel department and our finance department, we have over a $200 million budget. So we have to have a large staff to operate those things, and almost 3,000 employees. So we're a big business as well as in the teaching and learning business. So I know a little bit about all of those things, but not very deeply. I have a great team that I work with who are, in my opinion, real rock stars in all of those areas. And to do my job well, I have to listen and coordinate. It's like being an air traffic controller. It's how do I get all those players to play together well in the arena of education so that we serve students.
And
that's really special. And Mr. Bates, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
but
you're fine.
This core group right here, from Micaiah to Dr. Moody to Mr. Bates and to myself, we start in career and technical education. Micaiah, you are a CTE intern. And Mr. Bates and Dr. Moody, we started as CTE teachers. And that's the beauty of career and technical education, is that we help students discover their passions. They may not have even known, I really enjoy this or really have an interest in that, until they're able to put their hands to the mortar. And I say that, with my background behind me, and we have CTE students really practicing and living out their passions of what they're learning in their masonry and carpentry classes. And I'm just so thankful for what we offer students in CTE, that exposure and that awareness to really be able to experience career. And the power behind that is either they validate, this is something I want to do, or they discover this is something that I do not want to pursue. And I think both of those paths and both of those realizations are so beneficial for our students. So Micaiah, I hope that's been your experience in CTE, that you've been able to experience some career oriented initiatives, and you really have, as a senior about to graduate, because of those experiences, you have a clear direction, and you may not be completely made up in your mind, but at least because of those experiences and those opportunities in CTE and beyond, not just CTE, but just your educational walk in general, you now know for yourself what you want to pursue post-secondary. So I'm just thankful. That was just a shout out to CTE and to the hearts and minds that are gathered in this space.
Absolutely. And I think, we have, like I said before, we have a star-studded cast. Micaiah is an awesome intern. She comes to work every day ready to work. And some things she's Dr. Moody, she's willing to take those chances. She's willing to take those risks. A lot of times I ask her to do things that I know are going to make her uncomfortable. And she'll look at me like I have 10 heads, but she'll do it. So she's taking those risks every day. And I think that's what it's all about. You got to get comfortable being uncomfortable if you want to be successful.
Micaiah,
can you
it's
think
okay to mess
about one thing that you've learned through this experience, or one thing that you believe has been a benefit of being in career and technical education?
So far, like, I've learned better how to prep for an interview.
Yeah.
I learned how to, like, step out of my comfort zone, especially. It's really helped me a lot. I've actually like switched my whole profession, like, during this whole process. First, I was going into pediatrics, and then now I changed my mind and I want to be a physician's assistant. And like doing this, like, kind of made me change my mind a little bit. So it's definitely grown on me a lot. I've definitely learned a lot from doing all these different interviews. Definitely.
Good.
Yeah. And that's what our school system is based around. I mean, we have a special and phenomenal superintendent who leads us in these ways. She's leading us in renewal. We have a directional focus that's set up for our students to discover and pursue their passions so that they'll have a plan for post-secondary. And it's just amazing the things that happen in the trenches on the ground level every single day. It's just amazing how those things go down. So, Dr. Moody, I would love for you to talk to us about, what does it mean to be a renewal school system? What does it mean? What is our directional focus all about? And what does that really mean for our students? Because, we do it all for the students. It's all everything that we put in place, everything that comes from up high, it trickles down to our students. So what does that really mean for our students? How are they impacted?
Well, there are 3 areas of our directional focus that we are really trying to hone in on. And at the end of this experience, for people like Micaiah at their senior year, we're going to ask you, are you enlisted, enrolled, or employed? And we believe that our graduates are a gift to our community. So Micaiah will be our gift to what we give back to our community. So we want to do everything we can to prepare her and all other students in our school district to really be a part of everything that we do. So the skills that you learn might not just take you to a job, but they might take you to a skill set that helps you be more active in your church, or helps you be a better parent, or helps you be a better board member on a civic organization, or all kinds of other things. And that's part of that gift. So in our directional focus, we know that you're bigger than just your academics. And we believe that students who are intrigued, excited, and passionate about something will go further in their academics. We think that there's, in math, science, English, and social studies, there are certain competencies that you need to know to be successful. For example, you need to know how to figure a percentage. You will need that in your lifetime, no matter what career you go into. But you might not need to know about synthetic division necessarily. Some of our students will need that, but very few. So what are the ones that everybody needs to know? And then how can we tap into your passion to help you grow and learn more in those other particular areas? That's academics. Second part is how we help you find your passion. We have a new project a pilot that we're kicking off this year, where we're going to look at 10 students from every high school's transcript, lay it down beside a new portfolio about how these students have worked on their passion, and then take them to some colleges and universities and say, which student would you pick? And we're excited about that because it's how we could take Micaiah's passion and demonstrate to the world, to colleges, to employers, this is who she is. She's more than a GPA. She's more than a test score. She and students aren't typically talented across the board in everything. There's a few people who are, but usually you are more gifted in one particular area, and it usually aligns to your passion. So how can we help students discover that and figure out who they are and know that? And then the third area is interpersonal skills. We have 7 that we've picked, and they are around like civility and teamwork and collaboration. Like what will help you keep that job? Micaiah talked about interviewing. How do you get a job? But then once you do that, because you have the academic background to do it and the passion for it, but do you have the interpersonal skills to keep the job? I think we probably all know a really smart doctor somewhere who went to medical school and has no interpersonal skills and probably doesn't make very much money because people don't want to go to that doctor. Whereas, people that you've had a great opportunity of working with, and them as ethical and civil, and they're inclusive in the way that they think, and they may not be number one in their class, but you are drawn to them. In business, you'll find that they make a lot more money because people want to be near them and to contribute to them. So how can we help with that? So those are the 3 areas of our directional focus. It's a journey. We're not there, but we are trying really hard to move in that direction.
Yes.
That's really good. And Dr. Moody, to your point, I think those hard skills, that knowledge and those tangible skills are what gets you the job. But those soft skills, how you interact with people, how you make people feel, help you to keep your job. So getting the job and keeping the job are 2 different things. And so you need both. You need both those hard skills and soft skills to remain employed. So speaking to that, Dr. Moody, our goal in Rowan Salisbury schools is for every student to either be employed, enrolled, and or enlisted. And so could you give some words of wisdom to our students that they need to hear for preparation now for when they cross the stage? Micaiah, when you cross the stage or when you graduate, however our graduation looks this year, but when that happens for you in May. And Dr. Moody, for students across our district, across our state, and beyond state lines, what can our students do while in secondary education to prepare them to successfully be employed, enrolled, and or enlisted?
Well, this is the part that has always bothered me the most. Is at high school graduation, I usually stand on the end of the stage and shake hands as people come across. And I watch students go across that stage with all kinds of honor cords draped around them during graduation. And as they're leaving, as I shake their hand, I'll quickly say, what are you going to do next year? And we have a number of students who will go, I don't know. They just shrug their shoulders and go, I don't know. Maybe I'll go to school. And they absolutely don't have a plan for the future. I'm a big advocate in saying, get a plan. Don't say, I don't know. I'm at an interesting crossroads in my life for future, and I'm not completely sure what my next journey will look like. But I think in being able to say, I may try some new things, and I would say to Micaiah and all of her colleagues, all of our senior class this year, is have a plan. Don't let the answer be, I don't know. And you will probably change that plan. It is fine to change it lots of times. Micaiah said earlier, it's not what I thought when I first started. It was this, and then it was this. Put your feet in and jump in, dive in and try it. For some of you, you may want to go to work first. And there is nothing wrong with that. That there's not a timeline that if you don't do this by this point, you won't be successful in life. If you want to explore something or try something, try it. But I would say always be a continuous learner. And I don't mean stay in college your whole life, but always be a continuous learner. So always be reading something, thinking about something. Find some heroes on Twitter or other sources that you follow that motivate you or help you think about the next stage in your life. Spend some time always growing. I heard some good advice yesterday from Derek Whittenberg, who NC State Wolfpack won the national championship, and in his foundation he said, dream, believe, work, and finish. So dream big, go for things that you think you'll never accomplish, believe in yourself, even when maybe no one else does, work really hard, and then finish something. And he said that his philosophy has always been just pick one thing and do it better than you did it yesterday. So if you will always be growing and moving 1 foot forward, if you just pick one thing and do it better than yesterday.
That is great advice. Awesome advice. And there's a recurring thing that I just keep hearing over and over and over again. And it started from the beginning when you talked about your journey. And what I keep hearing you say is you're going to have to constantly, over and over again, evolve and recreate yourself. And if I was to talk about my journey to how I got to where I am today, I would look back and say, yes, I had to recreate myself here. When I got out of high school, went to college, when I got my first job, I had to recreate myself again. And you're going to have to keep doing that over and over again. And you hit on what it really takes to do that. It's continuous learning.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to continue to pour into yourself and continuously just learn something new. And I call it just getting better every day. If you're not getting better, you're getting worse.
Yeah.
So each and every day, you just have to train yourself and condition yourself. Makai is shaking her head because she probably heard this a few times.
Yeah.
If you're not getting better, you're getting worse. So you have to condition your mind to think that way, to develop that mindset that I have to get better every single day. I got 24 hours. Everybody else around me has the same 24 hours. And so I'm going to choose to make the best out of those 24 hours every single day.
I'd say, and continue to try new things. Like, don't be afraid to try new things. And everything doesn't necessarily lead to a career, but it can lead to a successful life. Like, I can't wait to landscape my backyard, like my training in that. Like, I've never been a landscape architect, not going to be one, but having that skill set of learning some about that through career and technical education has helped me my whole life in my own personal life. So, take some risks, learn some things, try to connect your dots the best you can, and have an open heart to receiving not only advice and mentorship like we talked about earlier, but trying some new things that you might think that didn't really seem like me in the beginning, but it might end up being what your passion is.
And just one last word, young people, Micaiah and all of your peers, be mindful of the group that you surround yourself with. As you make decisions for friendships and who you choose to spend time with and who you invite into your circle, be mindful as to who you include in that circle, and choose people who will feed your dreams, who will encourage your dreams, who will support your dreams. And there's sometimes when you have to make hard decisions and disconnect from some people and some environments so that you can continue forward along your path to whatever goal you have for your future. So just, young people, as you expand and as you grow and as you learn, attach yourself to those mentors with those relationships that will feed you, support you, and nourish you along the way. So
I agree. There's an old saying called trash in, trash out. If you hang around with trash, you become trash. So
Right.
yes,
always,
ma'am.
you don't get to pick your family, but you get to pick your friends. So
That's right.
pick
That's
wisely.
right. And I told you guys, star-studded cast, very smart group, but we're going to figure out how smart this group really is right now. We're going to play a game. And the name of the game is called Last Man Standing. And so I'll tell everyone who's on the webinar, who our panelists already know the rules to the game, but I'll explain the rules to everyone else so you can follow along. So we pick a letter, and then everyone has to say a word that begins with that letter, but you have to say it sequentially, which means that if I say tomorrow, then, and our letter is T, then Micaiah says her word, and you're the third person, then you got to come along and say tomorrow, tool, today. Okay? And so I'm going to since Dr. Moody is our guest, I'm going to let her choose the letter that we use. And then since Micaiah is our youngest person, I'll let her go first. And I will go last. Our order will be Micaiah, Dr. Moody, Dr. Poor, and then myself. So Dr. Moody, give us a letter, and then we'll get the plan.
Okay, my letter is C.
Okay. Cup.
Cop, career.
Cop, career, cook.
Cop, career, cook, coping.
Cup, career, cook, coping, college.
Cop, career, coping. I'm going to have to practice more.
Yes, Dr. Moody. We're gonna
It's
have to
okay,
play
Dr. Moody.
sometime.
I'm right behind you.
We're gonna have to play sometime. All right, so
Well,
we have
you were just happy, Holly, that I messed up, weren't you?
Just a little bit. Just a little
Me
bit.
too.
Well, y'all have been done for
Please
it
mess
later
up.
around.
Please mess up. All right, Dr. Moody, give us
the game next time.
Give us another letter.
M.
Okay, Micaiah, then Dr. Poor, then myself.
Money.
Muffin. Oh. Can I just redo? I meant to say money first. Money, muffin. Or am I out?
You're not out. We'll give you another chance. You just got excited.
I did.
Money,
muffin.
Okay, money, muffin, music.
Money, muffin, music, moon.
Money, muffin, music, moon, making.
Money, muffin, music, moon, making, more.
Money, money, muffin, music, moon, making more.
You lost.
It was making.
Okay, it's between Micaiah and myself, I believe. Dr. Moody got out one round and Mr. Bates got out another round. So, Micaiah, are you ready?
Yes. What's the letter? What's the letter?
Dr. Moody, give us the
Dr.
letter.
Moody, give him a letter. We'll let them face off.
E.
Okay. Elephant.
Elephant, Easter.
Elephant, Easter, equal.
Elephant, Easter, equal, eggs.
Dang, what I say? Oh my God. We did 3 rounds.
Oh,
Congratulations, Dr.
I
Paul.
said L.
Congratulations.
congratulations. That's right. Because I was out after the second word. E is a hard letter.
Yeah,
It
I
is.
was like think of E words.
Yeah.
Hard letter.
That
Could
was
say-
fun, Mr. Bates. Thank
We
you.
could say education or educator or something like
I
that.
was so focused on thinking on what letter I was gonna say next. I forgot my word.
And so I've had a wonderful time today with my phenomenal guests. And I just want to thank you guys one more time for being on today and investing in our work-based webinars. And it was awesome. It was awesome. And so until next time, we're off.
Bye, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye, thanks.